Okay, in this video, we're going to go ahead and start entering in the information of the Excel spreadsheet. But before that, I just want to remind you, remember, the function of an Excel spreadsheet is to provide a user with direct ways to accomplish tasks. So when you're designing the worksheet, you need to make sure that when you're creating it, that it's functional. Functional considerations should supersede visual aesthetics. It's more important that the Excel worksheet actually works rather than spending all the time you can and making it look pretty. So avoid the temptation to use any sort of flashy or confusing visual elements within a worksheet. You want to make it obviously functional. And if you're given a requirements document, if someone is asking you to create a spreadsheet, make sure you understand what they're talking about. Because if you don't understand how to maybe calculate gross pay or state tax or federal tax, then you're not going to do the job that you're asked to do. Make sure you also choose the proper functions and formulas. Every one of the formulas has a specific option or a specific purpose, and then make sure obviously you build the worksheet. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So this is Excel is being run. In our A1 here, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so that way you guys can see it better. A1, we're going to type in Olivia's art supply. That's an A1. Okay, and then remember to go to the next cell, we can either go down on the arrow keys or we can press enter. And then in cell A2, we're going to type salary report. So we have our title and we have our subtitle. Now with cell A3 selected, we are going to go ahead and start entering in our column titles. Remember, our column titles will be titles across this side because these are columns. Okay, these are rows. So a row title would be these here to title the rows. So A3, we're going to type in employee, press tab, email address, press tab, dependents. Remember, if you remember from last module, if you have text that overflows into the next cell, that means this column will need to be bigger later on, but we'll focus on that later. Hours, work. Oh, my bad. What we're going to do here for hours is we are going to take the line and go to a different line within that same cell. So after we type in hours, make sure our insertion point's after hours. Now on your keyboard, look down and you should see an Alt key and an Enter key. What I want you to do is hold down the Alt key and press Enter. And you'll kind of see that the cell went blank here. It didn't. What we did was we went on a different line inside the cell. Go ahead and type in worked. So you can see hours worked. It's on two different lines inside the same cell. Now in cell E3, we're going to type in hourly. Then we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to hold down the Alt button, and then we're going to press Enter. So again, you can see that our insertion point's on the next line. We're going to type in pay rate. Let's click in cell F3. We're going to type in gross pay. G3, federal tax. H3, state tax. I3, tax percentage. J3, net pay. K3, hire date. So what we're going to be doing here, if you didn't notice, is this is going to be a salary report. We're going to list our employees, their email addresses, how many dependents they have, like kids, for example, how much hours they worked, what their hourly pay rate is, gross pay. We're going to figure out taxes. So this is very, this can be used in an actual organization just to have everything down into a spreadsheet. So now we're going to go ahead and start typing in this salary data. So in A4, we're going to type in Bennett, comma, Joanne. Okay. And then we're going to click our right arrow 2 times to get to dependents. And then we're going to type in 2. Hours worked, 64.25. Hourly pay rate, 19.75. And then we're going to be calculating our gross pay, federal tax, state tax, and so on. What we're going to do in K4 is type in 4, 5, 12. Now we're going to fill in the rest of our employees, and the rest of these obviously we're going to be doing something with later. So we're going to type in Fred, comma, Michael, tab over twice. He has 1 dependent. He works 80 hours a week, and he makes $23.10 an hour. He was hired on May 7th, 2013. And if you noticed, I typed in the 13 there and it automatically changed it to 2013. So Excel is smart that way. Emmanuel Celine. She has no dependents. 72.50 hours worked. And this is not hours a week, I'm sorry if I mentioned that. This is every 2 weeks because usually you get paid every 2 weeks. So like Michael Fred, he's probably working 80 hours every 2 weeks, and then he's getting paid based off of that. 12/1/2011. Okay. Next one. Teresa. 3 dependents. 60 hours worked. $18 an hour. 314. Mant Samuel. He's got 2 dependents. He works 46 hours, so he must work more half-time than anything. $15.90 an hour. Hire date is 12/3/10. Otterman Faye. 75.75. 2105. Hired 3/7/2011. Rice James. 80 hours. $22.50 an hour. Was hired 2/5/2011. February 5th is my birthday. Look at that. Villanova Susan. 2 dependents. 74.25. $21.02 an hour. They were hired 5/6/2004. And finally, our last one. Jun Zhao. 1843 and 1215. Okay, so this is our sheet that we've done. So we're going to be doing some things with this. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to figure out with our emails here. Now, we're going to be using something called flash fill. So when you're entering in data in a spreadsheet, occasionally Excel is going to recognize a specific pattern in the data you're entering. So the flash fill is an Excel feature that looks for patterns in the data and automatically fills or formats those data in the remaining cells. For example, if column A contains a list of 10 phone numbers without parentheses around the area code or dash after the prefix, flash fill can help create formatted phone numbers with relative ease. So we're going to be using flash fill to figure out our email addresses. So for B4, we're going to type in jbennett at email.com. So if you noticed, it's our first, it'll be the first initial, and then last name at email.com. Now I'll press the down arrow. Okay, now we're going to do mfred at email.com, and then press the enter button. Now we're going to try out flash fill. So before we start, just verify, look at your employee. This is Joanne Bennett. Make sure it says jbennett at email.com. Same thing here for mfred. First initial, last name at email.com. If you do not have that right, this is not going to work. Okay, we're going to go to data on the ribbon. Okay, and now what we're going to do is find flash fill. And what that does is it will look at this entire column and it will take the first word and put that as the second option with the first initial of the first name as the first. So Excel was smart and figured it out, but it wasn't too smart, because if you look up here, this is not supposed to be there. Oops, I clicked a button. Oopsies. Don't do that either. Alright, so we don't want B1 or B2, so we're just going to go up to B1 here. Look at your keyboard and find the delete key. Click on the delete key. Do the same thing for B2. So now we have our email addresses, and all we had to do was type out 2 of them, and then Excel got smart when we used our flash fill. Now we're going to enter in some row titles. So we're going to go to A13. We're going to type in totals. Press the down button. A14, we're going to do highest. Down button. A15, we're going to find lowest. Down button. Then average. Okay. Now, if you remember from last module, if you remember, Excel is a spreadsheet program. An Excel file, so this file here, it's a workbook. In a workbook, you have multiple worksheets that we had down here at the bottom. Last module, you did one where you had the data on one sheet, and then the second sheet was a chart. We're going to go ahead and rename this sheet. We're going to double click on it here, or you can right click and do rename. And we're going to type in salary report. Okay. Oops, I did not want to do that. Okay. Now I'm going to right click and I want to change the tab color. Now we're going to find the standard green color. It's right here. Standard green. Standard colors. Click on it. So now we have a green tab. So if you need to pause this to go back and make sure that everything is typed correctly, you are welcome to do so. The next video, we're going to be taking this data and using formulas.